So, in this week's class, we reflected on the notion of trust and how it's significantly important for companies to develop a good, honest relationship with their stakeholders in order to establish a sufficient relationship. So, looking at the list of Australia's most trusted professionals, PR consultants weren't on the list, which obviously, I didn't find overly surprising since I think we can all agree that public relations doesn't base its work on, establishing trust with its customers. Having said that, it doesn't necessarily not do it all, but, it more focuses on the fact of pushing their objective rather than having an understanding for their stakeholders. So this is particularly the case within Western democratic societies, since many organisations' main objective is, to make money, in which many businesses get carried away with and forget to create an environment where consumers feel that they can trust a brand which actually in the long run has proven to bring more success and profit than those ignoring the factor altogether. So, if you look at airlines, for example, particularly when they face a crisis of a plane going missing or crashing, it is very important that they, as companies, always maintain a good, honest relationship with their stakeholders so that when a crisis like that occurs, they can bounce back from it. So people aren't, going to be flying with an airline that they can't trust. Obviously their life is in their hands, and even if it's not likely that anything fit to happen, so like it's not likely that the plane would crash or go missing, but it is still very important to maintain trust within your company so that there is no fear surrounding your business. So if an individual group has, trust in the product producer, then they are going to construct different meaning and react differently to those products compared to if they didn't have trust in the producer. So for example, if a magazine, let's say Woman's Day, was to release a story about the Queen getting remarried or something, people wouldn't necessarily believe it because it's a gossip forum and there is limited trust there. However, if the same story was to be released by, say, BBC News or ABC News, almost everyone would believe it since it's believed to be a basis of honesty within its public relations. So it comes down to the confidence in the exchange partner's reliability and integrity, by that I mean, it is the extent to which a brand and its customers are willing to make them vulnerable to the behaviour of the other. The belief that the party will take the other's interests into account when making decisions. I've learned that trust is very much so developed by the culture of communication with its stakeholders, and by that I mean the amount of trust people have in your company which depends on, your previous and current integrity, consistency, and loyalty. So the trust people have within a company also comes down to various cultural factors such as their attitude towards women in this day and age. People expect you to start closing the gap between the pay difference between men and women, and obviously expect you to treat women in the exact same respect as men. And another cultural factor is, the power difference. So the view of authority. You don't want to be coming across as better than anyone else or anything like that. So having discussed how trust can be established and why it's necessary to build an honest relationship between you and your stakeholders, let me know in the link down below of some companies that you feel, lack trust and why.